it's the silence that needs to be in the class. I think they're trying to calm that down a little bit.
Okay.
How are you? Hey, Lucy, how are you? I was wondering when we'd see you.
Yeah, you didn't win last year, did you?
No, I was off doing something. Yeah, I was doing graduation. I was at my, my niece's high school graduation.
It's good to see you again.
Glad to be here. I got one too. Oh, okay. We're ready for you. We've been practicing for weeks. We're going to do it each one
Let us pray. We know that any virtue which does not occasion humility is incomplete. Our hope is that today's graduating seniors become mindful of all they have been given, that is, of the many talents they have developed, of their families, of their friends, of their teachers. We hope further that their lives may become the best hopes of those who love them. Amen. And please be seated.
Welcome. This graduation ceremony is the 108th in Westover's history. And on behalf of the faculty and staff at the school, I would like to welcome you to this special day. To the parents, families, and friends of our graduates, I know you are suspended between pride and disbelief. It seems impossible that the child in your mind is really the accomplished young woman who sits before you. This is indeed the case. This is her day, and our task is to celebrate her triumphs. To join me in my welcome, I would like to introduce Susan Clark, President of the Board of Trustees. The first part of the graduation program is the awarding of prizes. On behalf of the faculty, and with the assistance of President Clark, I am pleased to make the presentations. The Elizabeth Hosmer Kellogg Prize for Excellence in English goes to Sofia Surovitskaya. The Elizabeth Wade White Prize for Excellence in English goes to Isabella Wang. The Julius B. Smith Prize for Excellence in Mathematics goes to Jenny Zhang. The Julie P. McClintock Prize for Excellence in French goes to Sophie McLaughlin. The Linda Summers Smith Prize for Excellence in Spanish goes to Alexandra Hawley. The Elizabeth Ross Cushman Prize in Classical Language for Excellence in Latin goes to Tiffany Villacrez. The William Warren Barber and Elizabeth Barber Higgins 40 Prize for Excellence in History goes to Meredith Moore. The Frederick J. Kingsbury Prize for Excellence in United States History goes to Lee Diamond. The Jane Wells Cheever Prize for Excellence in Science goes to Brianna Bergen. The Francis Sortwell Perry Prize in the History of Fine Arts for Excellence in Art History goes to Sofia Surovitskaya. The Gail Whitney Stir Prize for Excellence in Studio Art goes to Shan Shan Chan. The Music Prize for Excellence in Music and Outstanding Contributions to Music at Westover goes to Lindsay Cronin, and Jenny Zhang. The last 5 prizes recognize some of the personal qualities we believe are essential. The Ellen Kane McGinnis Prize to a junior developing independence of spirit, sense of humor, courage, and love of life for herself and others goes to Lauren Boucher. The Louise Bulkley Dillingham Prize to a student who has exemplified integrity goes to Fiona Boyle. The Westover Parents Association Prize to a senior for valuable contribution to school life goes to Abigail Hodson. The Mr. and Mrs. Harry Webster Walker II Community Service Prize to a senior for outstanding service to the wider community goes to Sophie McLaughlin. And our final prize is the Mary Robbins Hillard Prize to a senior who, through leadership, has shown qualities of initiative, perseverance, and courage. And the award goes to Jovial Carenzi. Each year, the senior class chooses one member to speak for the class. And this year, I am pleased to introduce Sarah Navius. And I just wanted to tell a little personal story about Sarah because over 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago, when I interviewed here at Westover, the first thing they had me do was take a tour with 2 students. And one of those students was Sarah. And I will say that after I spent an hour with Sarah and Claire Donovan, who was graduated last year, and they were so engaged and smart and fun, I thought, I need to come to this school. This is a really special place. So I'm really so delighted to be able to introduce her. Sarah is a vibrant member of the class of 2017, and her accomplishments throughout her time at Westover are many. She has achieved high honors with distinction in nearly all terms over her 4 years here. Sarah is a Woman in Science and Engineering student. She won the Aguirre Award for hard work and dedication in 9th grade and was elected as a proctor in her junior year. She's also received the Generosity of Self Award and the Theater Performance Award for excellence in acting at yesterday's Orchard ceremony. But what Sarah is most known for is her many performances in Westover Theater productions. In 9th grade, she made her debut on the Westover stage as a Who in Seussical, and created the original role of the Mute Girl in our original Halo Award-winning production of Tales from the Mouth of the Golden Horsehead. As a sophomore, Sarah played Sir Luce in Once Upon a Mattress, the Lord of the Underworld in another Halo Award-winning production, Eurydice, and played Gratiano in Othello. Continuing to build her diverse actor's resume as a junior, Sarah played Count Rosenberg in Amadeus, yes, chalk up another Halo Award, and Tom Collins in Rent. And this year, as a senior, she graced the stage all 3 trimesters as Mysterious Man in Into the Woods, as Maria Voynitskaya in Uncle Vanya, and as Bottom in A Midsummer Night's Dream, for which she received a Halo Award nomination for Best Comic Performance in a Play. Sarah has demonstrated both her love of theater and her excellent leadership qualities by being unwaveringly supportive of her fellow castmates. She is the first person to jump in to understudy when someone is absent in rehearsal. She takes notes from missing actors, offers to be on book in those tricky stumble-through days, and always has encouraging and upbeat things to say. She loves theater so much that she plans to major in engineering and minor in theater when she starts college in the fall. I can see her inventing a machine that helps people learn to listen to each other, cooperate, and get the job done. Our world needs more people like Sarah. So I'd like to invite Sarah Navius to the podium. You're going to knock me on the throat.
Thank you, Ms. Polstick. Good morning, everyone. Faculty, families, underclassmen, and the absolutely incredible class of 2017. As Ms. Polstick said, my name is Sarah Navius, and I am proud and honored to be here representing my fellow graduates and telling you about my Westover journey. I arrived at Westover as a 14-year-old eager freshman in the fall of 2013 with many of the members of my graduating class. While I certainly had not traveled the furthest to arrive at Westover, I had traveled further than most, and while I was excited to be here, I was nervous to be in a part of the country that I had only been in twice before, which was when I visited Westover. While I did not realize it at the time, I had arrived at the place that would become my new home, and Westover has indeed become a beautiful home for many of us. Before I came to Westover, I only knew what it was like to have a brother. And now I can say that I know what it is like to have the 50 most amazing sisters that I could ever ask for. You have made me feel at home these past 4 years, and we have all made Westover our home together. I know that even if I get stuck at JFK for a night when my flight home is delayed, I could rely on my Westover sisters to help me out. Because when that did happen to me this past December, I posted about it on my Snapchat story, and within a few minutes, I had multiple friends contact me, making sure that I was okay and wondering if I needed a place to stay for the night. At Westover, we are able to all live in the same building where we take classes every day. Living in the dorms together has always helped me stay close to my friends. Because of how much I liked living in the dorms with all of my friends, I decided to run for proctor. And during my junior year, I was a proctor on a sophomore corridor. While I always enjoyed being a proctor, living on a separate floor from the rest of my classmates left me out of touch with my grade. But over this past year, I have been lucky enough to be able to proctor a corridor with girls from the junior class and girls from my own grade. I am now able to spend most nights laughing with the amazing people on my corridor and senior annex. I have been able to learn about the qualities that make each and every one of my classmates unique. Even after the busiest and most stressful days, I always know that my stress will be lifted once I am in Maggie's apartment, talking to everybody about how their days were, listening to people's hilarious stories, or watching one of the many shows that we have watched as a corridor this year. I think that most of us can agree that some of the best conversations that happen in our class happen when a group of us stay late at dinner, especially on Sunday nights. Every time I end up in one of these after-dinner groups, I find myself laughing so hard that my stomach hurts, regardless of what we are talking about. Over these past 4 years, we have had some amazing adventures together. I have been lucky enough to go on trips with my Westover friends. I've been hiking and canoeing in New York, Vermont, and New Hampshire, snorkeling in the Bahamas, and singing in England. And a little over 2 months ago, we had our Glee and Handbells concert tour, during which Mr. and Mrs. Havery took 39 Westover students over to Italy. More than half of the group was made up of students from our senior class. And from getting lost in Rome while trying to go dancing, to eating different flavors of gelato every day, I was given some of the most incredible memories that I could have ever asked for. Westover has given me so many memories that I will cherish for the rest of my life. I have learned the importance of taking in all of my surroundings and enjoying every second of my time here with my friends. I know that we all have memories that have enriched our lives and that we will hold within our hearts forever. I also know that over these past 4 years, we have all thought about what our lives would be like if we were not at Westover. And even though we can always find something to complain about here, we have all ended up staying here because of different things we love within these yellow walls. Whether it be the students, the teachers, the dorms, or anything else, we all love Westover for our own reasons. Westover has taught me so much and helped me learn a lot about myself. In addition to learning how to correct anyone's grammar and how to be patient while waiting for the Wi-Fi to connect, I have learned how to compromise, how to be independent, how to be more empathetic, and how to be a leader while also being part of a group. Some of the most valuable lessons that I have learned these past 4 years, I learned from my classmates. I learned how to be more confident in myself because if I were ever feeling down about anything, I always had my classmates who I could always lean on to remind me that I can do anything I set my mind to. In gaining more confidence, I learned how to laugh at myself and not take anything or anyone too seriously. I truly admire the knowledge, confidence, kindness, and sense of humor that I see in each of my classmates. In my classmates, I see the qualities that make up a leader. Our class is filled with strong personalities who always want their voices heard, and they all have amazing things to say. My advisor, Ben Hildebrand, once told me that leaders make a difference in people's lives, and I can honestly say that all 50 of you have changed my life, and I am forever grateful for it. I know that none of us would have been able to survive these last 4 years without our amazing teachers. You have all managed to keep us entertained every day for the past 4 years, make even the most challenging topics enjoyable, and impart your wisdom to all of us. On a personal level, I would like to extend a special thanks to Ben, Maggie, Joe, Laura, Marla, Mr. Havery, Sarkis, and Kate Sabeth for what have done for me these past 4 years. I know that we can never be sure when we have affected someone's life, but I want you all to know that you have profoundly affected mine, and that I am leaving Westover as a more confident, caring, capable, wise, and understanding person because of each of you. I would also like to thank everyone's families, especially my own, for keeping us sane while we've been at Westover and encouraging us to keep working hard to achieve our goals. My own family lives far from here, and I greatly appreciate the many homes and families that have been extended to me while I was here at Westover. To the underclassmen, we are all going to miss you so much next year. Remember to enjoy every second that you are able to spend here and appreciate the amazing friends that you have. Do take advantage of the little moments you have with your friends every day, because as my classmates and I are all learning, it all comes to an end before you know it. Finally, to my beautiful class of 2017, I owe you the biggest thanks of all for all of your love, support, jokes, and kindness these past 4 years. None of us would have been able to survive at Westover without this group. After today, we are all going to go our separate ways, and I know that even without seeing all of you every day, you are still with me anywhere I go. Today, as I leave home for the second time in my life, I know that I never can and never will leave home forever. Westover and all of my friends will always be a part of my life, and I will miss you all greatly. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That was wonderful. Now I will introduce today's commencement speaker. Today's speaker has an impressive resume. Edmund Kip Hawley is the uncle of graduate Alexandra Hawley, and Kip is best known as the creator of the Transportation Security Authority after the 9/11 attacks. Yes, you can blame Kip for having to dump your water out before you get on a plane. However, you can also thank Kip for making us all safer when we travel. All kidding aside, Kip started at the TSA in a windowless office with literally a blank sheet of paper. His job was to figure out how to build a brand new government agency from scratch and have it operational in less than a year. After having accomplished his assignment, Kip went home to California and returned to the private sector. In May 2005, President George W. Bush nominated Kip to be the administrator of the TSA. Kip was confirmed by the U.S. Senate in July 2005, shortly after the terrorist attacks on the London Underground, and about a month before Hurricane Katrina struck the Gulf Coast. Kip served as TSA administrator until January 20th, 2009. In April 2012, Permanent Emergency was published. Written by Kip and Nathan Means, the book recounts the startup of the TSA and a series of previously undisclosed al-Qaeda plots led by a senior operative. Kip has an AB in political science from Brown University and a JD from the University of Virginia School of Law. Kip now resides in California where he consults on risk management. So please help me welcome Kip Hawley.
Well, how'd you manage to walk down this brick walkway so slowly? I brought some books. Thank you, Julie. It is a great honor and joy for me to be with you today on this beautiful and historic day on Memorial Day weekend. Thank you, Julie Falstick and the senior class for inviting me to and including me in your program. I am slightly intimidated because my niece, Allie, she's over there in the white, gave me two instructions: be funny and be gone. So let's get going. Congratulations, class of 2017, you totally did it. And thanks to the faculty and staff for this 108th graduating class of Westover and guiding them to victory. Parents, family, and guests, I know how proud you are today of Westover's new graduates, and underclass members, as Red Sox are familiar saying, wait till next year, or as appropriate, repeat that. I'd like to start out by doing something that we all should do on a more regular basis, and I would like to thank my mother. In March, I was on a business trip and found myself in an airport one Sunday morning, so I decided to call my mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Kip. How's that Westover speech coming? Well, Mom, that's in May, the end of May. Yes, but you must have some idea of what you're going to say. Well, actually, I was going to use my go-to advice, which is, in the course of life, even though you do exactly everything right, you get knocked down. And what is important to remember, in fact, the only thing you need to remember is get back up. That's great, Kip. Get back up. That's funny. That's what my iPad is always telling me. Get back up. Get back up. I'm sure they'll like that. Okay. Maybe something else. Thank you, Mom. In preparing a replacement for Get Back Up, I did some research. These yellow walls are iconic of Westover. But to me, any school that sells shot glasses in the campus store has classes in video game design and a course literally called Projectiles. That is very cool, and I want to be associated with it. I was also struck by how Westover blends traditions of its founders with an extraordinary connectedness to current issues. How theodate structures from a century ago support today's latest technology. Westover combines the discipline of academic rigor along with creative artistic expression. Circles and squares, foundation and change. And that's what I'd like to focus on today. How to hold to your foundations in a world of accelerating change, where disruption is the normal course of events. I hope I'm not giving anything away, but Allie's Uncle Cam is here, and I'm pretty sure that he intends to give Allie a Lamborghini Testarossa for graduation, which means that in about 90 minutes, Allie will be out there on Interstate 84 blasting by a whole lot of trucks. Going to be exhilarating, possibly imaginary. Except, imagine this. In about a year, it will be fleets of fully loaded 18-wheelers blowing by all of us with trucks capable of going, and I'm saying capable of going, 200 miles an hour. They will be battery powered. They will be fueled by rooftop cells back at the warehouse. So you'll have trucks that go 3 times as fast as the ones today, burning no fuel. Tesla will release its first road-ready version in September. Disruptive change blowing right past us. And remember the iPhones that you brought with you to Westover. Westbury is on the way to Westover. Well, they were very advanced devices. But the iPhones that you'll be buying this fall are 4 times as powerful, 4 times as fast, and 4 times as small. The processors are 4 times as small. Think about that. 4 times better in every dimension. And 4 years from now, when you're graduating from college, they will do it again. Change is all around us, and it is happening so fast that we can't even register it. As humans, we live in a linear world marked by linear time. So exponential change is hard for us to grasp, especially when it's happening, which means be prepared to be shocked. Whatever context we're talking about, be prepared to be shocked. I want to share a story about this for when I was shocked as TSA administrator and some coping mechanisms that maybe will help you. TSA works around the clock, other than to annoy you, but it works to stop Al-Qaeda from getting one of their operatives on a plane with a bomb. You all see that effort every time you fly, and perhaps you wonder why it is that you're asked to do certain things. TSA works with scientists and bomb experts from around the world to figure out what kinds of explosives would work. And intelligence agencies try to find out what formulas the terrorists are using and who the terrorists are. There was a close call at the end of 2005 when a plot against the United States and UK was disrupted just as Al-Qaeda began moving its operatives into position. Unfortunately, we never learned what the bombs were that they were planning to use. So we were particularly worried about liquid explosives. Since we had a pretty good handle on other kind of explosives, we needed to figure out exactly how we can identify liquid explosives. Well, English scientists experimented with concentrated hydrogen peroxide because we knew it would create a very powerful explosion. The problem was that once highly concentrated hydrogen peroxide is made, it becomes unstable and reacts like nitroglycerin. And when one of the scientists was killed during the preparation for a test, the word went out that that kind of bomb was not practical, and we should use other methods to get at liquid explosives, and that's how we operated. Except in the summer of 2006, unknown to us, Al-Qaeda scientists had in fact figured out how to make a super concentrated hydrogen peroxide bomb. Talk about exponential change. It was stable, incredibly powerful, and invisible to checkpoint scanners. In fact, it was indistinguishable from water. And they planned to blow up 19 planes that were coming from the UK to the United States and Canada. Fortunately, the intelligence community was able to discover this plot literally just as they were making the bombs in a flat in London. So that's where the baggie came from. Our scientists figured out how much terrorists would need to blow up a plane, and it was measured in the size of the container. And for physics and chemists in the audience, critical diameter. So it's measured in critical diameter, which limits the size of the container. That's why we decided that any number of 3-ounce bottles was okay. We used the baggie to limit the number of bottles and also as a vapor concentrator. The vapor leaks out of containers, even if they're glass bottles, completely sealed. The vapor comes out. And when concentrated, as it would be in a sealed baggie, a TSA officer can tell immediately. There's a whole other piece of this, which is why you can't go to the bathroom and mix a bunch of different bottles, but just suffice it to say it's a long answer, and the short answer is it will not work. So we'd thought of that one, actually. We didn't want to limit liquids, but since Al-Qaeda had a bomb that we knew we could not detect, and we knew that there were operatives around the world, including an American, who had been trained, we had to find a way to stop their bombs, but still allow your liquids. As you can imagine, when we announced that liquids were allowed back on planes, but only in baggies, and I don't expect you to remember because you were 8 years old, this was not widely celebrated, and it was a little hard to explain. So people hated on the baggie. And one day when I was traveling, another guy was flying out of Milwaukee, and he wrote, "Kip Hawley is an idiot," in magic marker on his baggie. Yes, you can laugh, that's pretty funny. A security officer thought that was suspicious and called over a supervisor. They talked about it, and the guy went on his way. Fuming. He blogged and tweeted, and it got in the news. And pretty soon I was asked to comment. I had a good, slightly humorous answer, and that was that. Until I called home that night from the road. My son Nick answered and said, "Dad, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is that nobody yet has put up a kiphawleyisanidiot.com website. What's the bad news? Well, I went to reserve that URL and it's already been taken." Uh-oh. Uh-oh, indeed. Over the next 3 years, it became a gathering spot for anybody with an issue about aviation security. It got millions of page views, not least of which were the items that you could buy with my picture on it and the banner, "Kip Hawley is an idiot." There were coffee mugs, t-shirts, pencils, folders, but also you could buy a pair of ladies' bikini shorts underwear adorned with my picture and that special slogan. My son Nick did, however, have a clever protest. He prepared a baggie, and when he went through TSA, it said, "Kip Hawley is my daddy." But most people, if they thought about TSA, it was something about the baggie. Members of Congress had televised hearings that were not delightful from my perspective. One senator taunted me with her lip gloss, her explosive lip gloss. Ha ha. Being Kip Hawley was not a lot of fun at that time, and I joked at one speech that I advised the next head of TSA not to use his or her real name. Except I guess that's the point of the story. We have our names, and wrapped up in them is who we are. Protect that, celebrate that, and pay attention to who you are as defined by you. Are you willing to take risk, or do you worry what others will say? David Brooks of the New York Times talked about this last year at Dartmouth's commencement. Success leads to the greatest failure, which is arrogance and pride. Failure can lead to the greatest success, which is humility and learning. So, go for it. The worst case is you learn something. There is only one person who gets to define who you are, and that is you. No one else has that power. Not on a baggie, not in person, not online, not anywhere. You are your own rock. Allie Hildebrand started this school year off at Convocation with a message about how rocks represent both stability and uncertainty. Stable in that they can form the foundation of our largest buildings, and yet every rock is the product of the chaotic confrontation of ice and fire. Ms. Hildebrand said, "Each of you have under your seat a rock." Let me just say, she was not kidding. You have an enormous rock under your seat. It's called planet Earth. And while we're enjoying this tranquil day in May, safe inside these yellow walls, I think it's only fair to point out that this rock that we're sitting on is itself careening through the void of space at 67,000 miles an hour. Not only that, it is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, not to mention that the whole thing is highly unstable with an angry molten core that wants to get out. So stability can be an illusion, and disorder may in fact be the natural state. And that should not surprise us, because we live in a universe that was started by something called the Big Bang. And as humans, we strive for comfort, which, since we really don't like change, is a problem, because that is the opposite of change. Except explosive change is the only reliable constant in the universe. Thinking deeply about who we are, doing what we believe in, and being connected to who we are and confident in ourselves, that is where comfort lives. As graduates, that's how you will thrive in this chaotic world that awaits you. You will confront dramatic change and disruption in your lives starting in about an hour. So my concluding advice, and this goes to all of us proud family and friends as we watch our precious graduates with love go wherever it is that you go. My concluding advice for the class of 2017 is hang on and get back up. Thank you. Go. All right. Thank you. All right.
Don't worry. Thank you. Now, with the assistance of Ms. Clark and Mr. Hildebrand, and on behalf of the faculty and the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to award Westover diplomas to the graduating class. Would you please hold your applause until the last student in each row has received her diploma?
Jovial Omatali Karenzi. Lauren Rose Stebbins. Sofia Eva Yanez. Abigail Rose Hodson. Joanna Edith Pacheco. Anna Booth Palucci. Ibukun Grace Ogamomoju. Mia Angela McLean. Lindsay Erin Cronin. Meadow Rose Shinkong Wiki. And Sarah Adele Navius. Jenny Liu Xiele. Angel Xu Guo Yue. Tiffany Maria Villacrez. Callie Marie Bogart. Sarah Ellen Marr. Chloe Frances Kirk. Fiona Frances Boyle.
Yeah, baby.
Morgan Reese Pichard. Lee Aaliyah Diamond. Gina Nicole Burkle.
Thank you.
Emma Jane Talon. Gracie Merriweather Greco. And Summer Michelle Moore. Adeline Shaw Vischer. Sophie Hannah Ackert. Jordan Michaela Gansey. Patricia Grace Collins. Jenna Nicole Gleason. Alexandra May Holly. Angela Maria Pesch. Mariah Sophia Pelaez. Alexandra Paige Kagan. Sarah Rebecca Cavallero. Yujin Chi. Sofia Sadavatskaya. And Natalie Masood. Cristino Kapalova. Shauna Kiara Sullivan. Liao Bei Hua. Zen Ku. Maya Elaine Formisano Newhoff. Emma Whitney Barheit. Jolie Savannah Brown. Jenny Zhang Jiayue. Brianna Lee Bergen. Rebecca Grace Lundy. Grayson Alexandra Bulya. Brianna Wong Jones. And Sophie Eliza McLaughlin. Wait for it. It's a big moment. It is now my great pleasure to present the class of 2017.
I will say that is a hard act to follow. At this point in the program, I would like to say a few words to the senior class. But before I begin, please know that there are closing ceremonies after the benediction and the school anthem, and they take place on the athletic field directly behind me. You don't want to miss this ceremony. It is our graduation circle, a tradition as old as the school. Through the years, photographs of the Westover Graduation Circle have appeared in everything from greeting cards to dust jackets to, back in the day, pages of Life magazine. The images of unity and community, of wholeness and belonging are uniquely Westover. The best vantage point for viewing the circle is on the arcade towards the LBD. To get there, exit from the quad to my left, and the ceremony can also be seen from the embankment directly behind me. And please take your belongings with you, as the chairs will be taken down while you are viewing the graduation circle. Class of 2017. As I look out at you, about to become Westover alumni, I think about all the amazing women I met at reunion just a few weeks ago. Accomplished professionals, loving mothers, sisters, and daughters, compassionate friends, and engaged citizens of the world. I look at you and I see the future. I see hope for the world. I see risk takers and trailblazers. I see transcendence in all your faces on this day. And I feel privileged to address you, the spirited, accomplished, world-changing class of 2017. I find it fascinating that whether I am speaking to an almost graduated senior or an alum from the class of 1947, there is commonality. There is a willingness to engage, to step outside oneself, to connect, to change, and to allow yourself to be changed. Recently, New York Times columnist David Brooks, that I did not think would be making 2 appearances in this graduation ceremony, but apparently is, wrote a column wondering about the difference between institutions that leave a mark on people and those that don't. And he called these thick places and thin places. An alumnus sent a copy of this article to our alumni office. And let me summarize in his words his description of a thick place. It engages the whole person, head, heart, hands, and soul. It has a physical location, often cramped, where people are frequently thrown together. They may sleep over so they see each other without makeup or putting on any artifice. It has a set of collective rituals. It incorporates music into everyday life. It encourages people to have high aspirations and to serve the common good. Selfishness and selflessness marry, so you are fulfilled in doing good for others. I can understand why this article resonated so deeply with this alumna, and certainly I think you can all recognize Westover in this description. But the key element that is missing in this column is that students shape us as much as we shape you. Your talents, your insights, your work ethic, your humor, your compassion, your curiosity. Every day you contributed these things to this school, to this thick culture. And every one of you has made it thicker, leaving your mark on the institution and on each other. So go forth and continue to make your mark on the world. And as you shape your worlds to come, never forget two essential things. Nothing in the world changes without bravery. And nothing in the world changes that is lasting without an element of kindness and compassion for your fellow human. You have all done brave things here. Call upon those moments when the task in front of you seems overwhelming or insurmountable, but is completely worth doing. Do the brave thing. Keep going. You have all shown kindness and compassion to each other here. You have learned something about living in a community with all aspects of diversity. You have likely also learned something about the times when the bravest thing you can do is show compassion to others. We can't all be brave all the time, and there are certainly moments when our capacity for compassion is tested. But as a Westover woman, as a member of this thick community, you go on to your next adventure well equipped to engage, to connect, and to change. And while I cannot predict the future for any of you, I can guarantee that in ways large and small, you will all change the world with your courage and with your kindness. Congratulations to you all. You make my heart sing, and you will make Westover proud. Thank you.
Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is pleasing, whatever is commendable, if there is any virtue, if there is any praise, think on these things. These things which you have learned and received and heard and seen, these things do, and the God of peace will be with you and remain with you always. Amen.